Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Man, another magnificent day forward as we approach the ending of 2023 and prepare to step into 2024. Man, another beautiful day. Plenty of opportunities to spread peace, love, respect. The excitement's in the air. Changes in the air. Dig that. But this video, and everybody, please help me to continue to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Please make sure you click your notification buttons. Please check me out on all platforms, including my Rumble channel, rumble.com. You can just look up BKS Light, Big King Sadiq. When you come to my YouTube channel, please make sure that you check out my community section, right? Some very important, powerful, and unique information there that is not necessarily covered in the videos. All right. Well, I wanted to talk about something that is symptomatic of separation mentality and the old paradigm established by the socially economic elite. And that's division, right? In this particular instance, I want to talk about briefly the division established along the lines of uh, gender, uh, man and woman, and then we also have a lot of designations, right, that folks are using these days in reference to their gender or not acknowledging gender at all. All right. And no judgment. Whatever one uh, deems to be the best path in life forward for them, that's fine. And folks, we're having a human experience and journey for a reason so that you can discover things. A person's stance one day may not be their stance the next day, right? Or even if there's some time in between there, right? 1 year might not necessarily be the same stance they hold the following year, right? The point I'm making with that is I'm personally fine with allowing people to continue their journey, right? See, one of the big differences between the way we will move forward, the way we're learning to live in our new high vibrational frequency paradigm, is that we don't have to be obsessive, we don't have to be controlling, right? And certainly not judgmental. This is an experience that we're journeying through, right? And each individual has their own journey. Sometimes we take those journeys as groups. However it goes, to allow, right, for that process and to actually respect and honor that individual is going through a process of exploration. Uh, to me, is the higher path, right? Path of higher consciousness, rather than disagreeing, judging, condemning, and then what usually follows after that is not so nice treatment, right? Why should we focus our energy in those areas when there's far so many more productive things we can be doing and things that might even provide evidence or provide something to that individual or individuals that would enable them further clarity? It might even give them a different perspective, right? Okay. So as far as division, getting back to that focus, um, division between men and women has grown to, um, I don't want to say a fever pitch, but has grown to a very difficult divide, right? Um, Evidence of that is bared out in the feminist movement, bared out in some male oriented movements that would be opposite that, right? And I identify the feminist movement, folks. Ladies, it's not an attack. Again, no judgment. However, we can honestly, and this is per several feminists that I've met, right, and had discussion with, there is a general feeling of dislike for men within the feminist movement. And in some extreme instances, some may say many extreme instances, there's downright hatred for men, right? Now, folks, we have to understand that this is fueled by some very valid uh, concerns and or reasons, right? Look at the mistreatment that women have suffered on this planet, primarily at the hands of men, right? Um, Look at the inequality. Look at vile acts like rape, right? Um, and look at the mental, physical, and emotional and sometimes even developmental trauma that women suffer at the hands of men. I can understand that, right? Conversely, right? Um, there are many ways that some men have suffered at the hands of women, right? Example, take for example how some women have taken advantage of the stance of many states in this country, especially Commonwealth states, that uphold the rights of a woman in areas like child rearing, right, or parenting, uh, seemingly high above those of the male, right? Um, you have men out here who, through no fault of their own, are being robbed the opportunity to even be fathers. Very willing fathers, yearning fathers who love and want to be a positive influence in their children's lives, and for whatever spiteful reason or whatever systematic reason, or even what is being taught as a tool of leverage, right? Uh, these women may rob those men of that particular uh, major, should I say, aspect of life, right? To be a parent to a child that you have uh, brought into the world, a child that is a part of you, which the child is most certainly a part of both the mother and the father, right? Um, and then there's other things like, um, you have men out there who would complain of unfair treatment economically, right? Um, Men who would complain of instances where they had been usurped, right, or tricked by women and used for financial reasons. Listen, all of these things, folks, anytime we are engaging one another uh, in a negative space, right, and we're engaging in actions that harm one another, right? That's all low vibrational frequency, and it is most certainly not unconditional love, right? Um, what it is, in reality, which neither side seems to notice when they're enthralled in such actions, is efficient success for the socially economic elite who want you to be at odds in the first place. Huh? You didn't come into this planet at odds. Women, when you didn't grow up hating your brother and your father and your uncle and all that, hopefully. In most situations, you love them, right? There are many men in your lives who you love or have loved and have had positive, wonderful experiences with and have grown with and lived with, and vice versa with men. How could you go around calling women, forgive my language, bitches, sluts, and whores, right? And gold diggers and all these negative stereotypes and different ways of disparaging women when the person who loves you the most unconditionally 9 times out of 10 on this planet is your mother. Come on, man. The point is, folks, we need not be at odds with one another, right? In order for women to gain equal rights on this planet the way they should have always had, they don't have to tear down men to do that. They just need to uplift women. And vice versa for men. In order for men to get ahead in life, or to have better relations with their children, or whatever the case may be that they feel at odds with women, to correct those things, you don't have to tear women down. You need to repair that relationship. Huh? Folks, we got to stop being, and excuse me if it feels like I'm making light of the situation. I'm certainly not. But in many instances, we are plain old immature, right? And gullible, that we continue to be guided in directions that put us against one another, right? That have us in at odds with one another and viewing each other as enemies, when in reality we need each other. Huh? Folks, what space have we gotten to that the union between man and woman, and even just the relationship between men and women, boys and girls, has been skewed so much? I've heard children, not long ago, I heard a little girl talking about how, oh, boys are nasty, boys are bad, boys are this, boys are that. I'm thinking to myself, man, who's been teaching this little girl this? Now, to beware of, predatory actions, certainly, but to brainwash and program a little girl to have all these negative thoughts about her male counterparts in the world, we're talking again about your brothers, your uncles, your fathers, whoever, or just friends, or just another human being who happens to be male. Folks, we got to stop allowing ourselves to feed into the lines of separation and division that have been force fed to us, right? Through layers and layers of indoctrination by the socially economic elite. They want men and women to be at odds with one another, to view each other as adversaries, right? We don't need there to be adversarial energy between men and women. What we need is unity, love, and a common level of respect. That's what we need. We need to get back to valuing one another. And if we feel like we've never been there, then that's an area of progress we need to surge powerfully forward to, right? We need one another. And we need to let that be evident in the way we walk each and every day. the way we live our lives, and the way we accept one another. There need not be division, separation mentality. There need not be any adversarialism between men and women. Folks, you don't have to tear one down in order to lift the other up. Remember that phrase, unconditional love? Extend that as a human to a human. That's first. Then your gender and all those other ways of identifying ourselves individually and separately come into play. But first and foremost, you are a beautiful, energetic being living and experiencing a human lifetime in a physical, corporeal body, whether it be male or female. Honor that, and honor that in one another. Huh? Namaste. I see the creator in you. It's a beautiful way to greet one another. I think that's why I've adopted it. What higher compliment can you give someone than to actually recognize, which is the truth, that you see the creative source within them? For surely the creative source resides at some capacity and in some way in all of us. Right? We need to have not only tolerance, but we need to embrace one another in peace, love, respect. It's certainly the best thing for our children moving forward. A little boy need not grow up thinking of women in any disparaging or less than honoring way. A little girl need not grow up looking at boys and men in some negative, distorted, flawed view, or even a view that is painted with the pain of the past. Folks, we need to move forward together, figuratively holding hands, literally loving one another unconditionally. We got to move forward with unity consciousness, and that encompasses all of these things, right? Let's no longer and let's not find ourselves falling victim to the same lies, tricks, deceitful intentions, the same indoctrination in layers and layers and layers that has gotten us to this point we're at now. Let's turn this ship around and head down a path of love, honoring, and respect for one another, right? Men, honor, respect, and love the women. Women, honor, respect, and love the men. And we'll find ourselves coming together in a way that is best and better for all of us. Man, stop and think about that. Stop and think about what things we can accomplish together if we take away all of that energy, or rather transmutate all of that energy, change and transform all of that energy that we've been wasting in negative expression, and turn it into or utilize it in the direction of positive reinforcement of unconditional love for one another. Think of what the world would be like, would look like, would feel like in that environment. Much better. Indeed. Man, we can get there. We're going to continue to point out every single little trick in the handbook of these socially economic elite in every particular and individual and specific way that they have turned us against one another. Time to counteract all of that. Time to come together with unconditional love for one another. Men, women, you don't have to tear down one in order to lift up the other. Let's do that together. All right. I love you all. Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I'm out.